I bought a new watercolor sketchbook and I'm going to create a new video series on how I will remake my Bali Travelogue sketchbook that was thrown out accidentally many months ago during house moving, and this is the ebook version that I have created with my watercolor sketches that were created many years ago, more than 10 years ago. So I went to Bali for my first solo sketching trip in 2014, and I was there for 2 weeks sketching, driving, visiting places, and it was an incredible experience. So for this video series, I will try to recall my trip and also just redraw all the watercolor sketches that I have created more than 10 years ago with the help of reference photos that I have taken. So in this video series, I will talk about traveling tips as well as, of course, urban sketching techniques. So this is the Hanamule watercolor sketchbook that I have that has 100% cotton watercolor paper. The texture is cold press, the size is A5, paper weight is 250 GSM, and there are 60 pages. So for this first video, I will talk about the drawing tools to bring to pack for an overseas sketching trip. The last video that I made about how you can pack for a sketching trip was made in 2019, and I will link to that video in the video description below. And the tools that I used or brought are actually the newer ones. So in this video, I will look at the older tools that I used to use. So the first thing I will do before a sketching trip is to sketch the packing list to see what items I will bring. And having a packing list is very useful because you can use this as a reference to pack for future trips. And if you have brought along too many items that you did not use, you can write down some notes to remind yourself what not to bring next time. By the way, this is a PDF ebook that I have created for my patrons. So if you are a patron, you can download this from my Patreon page. When sketching your packing list, try to include as much details as possible. The sketchbook that I brought for the Bali trip is an A4 size Moleskine watercolor sketchbook, so it's 2 times the size of this sketchbook, which is A5 size. Nowadays for trips, I will just bring A5 because this is just easier to handle. It's smaller and lighter, and because the pages are smaller, you can actually fill the pages much faster. You don't have to spend so much time to fill a page. With an A4 size canvas or paper or page, I usually will take around 2 hours, 1 to 2 hours to fill. And if it's a double page spread, it will be about 2 to 3 hours. So that's sketching and coloring. But for an A5 size sketchbook, I can complete like 1 page maybe in an hour, or 2 pages, a 2-page spread in an hour or an hour and a half. The reason why I had the confidence to bring such a big sketchbook for the Bali trip is because 1 year earlier in 2013, I was in Spain for another sketching trip with my friends Tia and Paul and Kia Kian. And I had a lot of experience there with sketching, so I thought maybe for the Bali trip, I should challenge myself and bring a bigger sketchbook. Now that I look back at all my sketching trips, I realized that I prefer an A5 size sketchbook a lot more, because with a sketchbook that is too big, you really have to spend the time to draw the details, and if you don't draw the details, your sketch will look unfinished. So for the first page, I will leave it blank because I will want to draw the map. So after I have drawn all the places that I've been to, I will draw a map to write down all the places that I have been to. So let me just flip to the second and third page where I will draw the tools. One of the challenges when it comes to sketching tools and supplies is not knowing how much space, you need to draw all the tools. Like if you draw the tools too big, you may run out of space. So for me, I try to I will want to keep all the tools within the 2 pages. So if I draw this pen too big, I will have to draw the other pens too big as well. So the first pen that I have here is the Uniball Gel Impact. It's a pen with a very thick line and uses gel ink, and I probably won't recommend this pen for use with urban sketching because it uses up the ink like way too fast. And this is the Uniball Eye. Of course, try to write down the name of the pens, otherwise you will not be able to remember them years later. This Uniball Eye is using ink, so the ink inside will last for much longer. And try to bring backup pens as well so that you can lose one pen, damage one pen, and you can still have more pens to draw with. The next pen is the Uniball Signal Gel Stick. So when you are sketching, try to sketch from what you see. I actually sketched this from the sketch that I used to have. Oops, I drew this wrong. So you see I was distracted. So now I have to change this pen to something else. So I'm going to change this pen to the, what's this? Pilot V7 Tech Point. Okay, if I remember correctly, I actually refilled this pen. So this is the Pilot. Oops, spelled it wrong. I cannot talk and sketch at the same time. Pilot V7 Tech Point. So I actually refilled this pen with waterproof ink because I like the needle point. But nowadays, you don't have to refill such pens because fountain pens are quite affordable. Like you can buy a fountain pen, a good fountain pen for less than $10 or even $20. So yeah, you don't have to refill disposable pens anymore. Okay, next pen is the Uniball Signal Gel Stick. So let me draw what I see instead of what I think I remember. Okay, the shape is so wrong, doesn't matter. It's just a fun sketch. This is actually one of my favorite pens for sketching. It uses gel ink, so the ink will get used up really quickly. But I like the ink blobs. And this is very affordable back then. Now it's more expensive due to inflation. Okay, so this is the Uniball Signal Gel Stick. I did not bring any fountain pen for the trip. Nowadays for trips I would prefer to bring disposable pens because with a fountain pen I will have to bring an ink bottle. So I don't like to bring ink bottles. Using disposable pens for the trip is just more convenient, and I can bring a few as backups. This is my watercolor brush, the Connoisseur Sable watercolor brush. I don't think it's sold anymore. And also remember to bring a backup. And this is the, what's this? Da Vinci Sable watercolor brush. Yes, this is nice. I prefer Da Vinci over the Escoda brushes because this is the screw type, not the, what's that, the joint type. So this is actually tighter and the brush will not come loose. I brought along my camera, so I have a lens pen. And as I am drawing this, you can see that I am sort of running out of space. Oh, and a good thing about the Uniball Signal Gel Stick is you can leave the pen like this and the ink will not dry up. But you cannot leave a fountain pen like this. out in the open, you have to remember to cap the fountain pen, otherwise the ink will dry up, clog the pen, and damage the pen. Okay, so this is the, what's that, lens pen, used for cleaning camera, lenses, or LCD displays. I have one for cleaning, and this will also clean the dust off. One side here is the brush, the other side is for cleaning the lens. And I have a pencil as well. This is the Pilot, I'm not sure what, oh yeah, it's a Pilot pen if I remember correctly. Yeah, so this is a mechanical pencil. This pencil that I brought along is the 0.5, and this is the 0.7. This is H327. This is Pilot H325, and there is an orange one which is H329. I brought along 2 erasers. Oh, by the way, this fountain pen that I'm using for sketching is the Sailor fountain pen with a zoom nib. So the erasers can be drawn small since, well, they are not going to require that much detail. I need to write what they are, eraser, and there is this little bottle. It's a Nutella bottle. It's empty. I use this as a bottle for washing my brush. I have what's this? A travel charger. I no longer have this, but this is the one that I brought many years ago. Try to bring one that has multiple holes and preferably with USB ports. That can be quite useful. And I have a nail clipper because I'm there for 2 weeks. I need the nail clipper, and I am drawing this from my memory. The camera that I'm using, the camera that I was using back then is the Panasonic GX7. I believe I took some videos back then, but I cannot find where those videos are. Anyway, I did not make a video log, a vlog for the trip. So I only took like photos there, even though I took many videos. I guess the reason why I did not make a travel log is because this camera does not have image stabilization, so all the videos that I took, they were rather shaky, so not very usable for making videos. Okay, so this is a really old camera. And lastly, I have my sling bag. Oops, I should draw this a bit smaller now because I realized I need to draw my clothes. So let me just draw the clothes first. I have 3 t-shirts, 3 shorts, and 3 underwear. Okay, so this is the sling bag. Yeah, I only brought this sling bag. Okay, I barely have any space to write down the name of this bag, which is the Manhattan Portage Europa Messenger bag. So this is one spread. Try to have some of the items big and some small so that you can have variety. And for items that require more detail, you can draw them bigger so that you can draw more detail. And for items that require less or fewer details, you can draw them smaller. This is the small tripod that I brought along, and I'm still using it. It's quite durable. So this tripod has more details, which means I will have to draw more details, and I'm going to sketch this very quickly. I'm going to keep this tripod small, just in case I run out of space again, like I did with the earlier page. Yeah, so as with urban sketching, try to draw what you see instead of what you think you see or what you remember. draw from observation, and the more you practice, the more confident you will get, and the better your sketches will look. Even if the lines look wobbly, it doesn't matter, because that can give your sketches more character, and maybe even give your sketches a style that is unique to you. Okay, so I can draw this rather quickly, which is nice. I always bring a tripod so that I can, take some videos, or maybe use it as selfie stick, so that I can film myself. This is additional weight. If you're just there, if you're just overseas for sketching, you don't really need a tripod unless you are making videos. This is just an extra accessory. If I don't make videos, I actually can bring even fewer items. I don't need to bring all the camera equipment. I don't need to bring a camera, because I can just use my phone as a camera. Okay, so this is the tripod. Let's draw the watercolor box, and I'm going to keep this small as well. I brought a 12 pen metal box. So there are 6 colors in this row, and another 6, and there is a space in the middle for me to keep my brushes. I brought a stool. This is the wok stool, a 3-legged stool. I no longer use this stool, even though I still have it, because this is actually heavier compared to those folding stools. Yeah, but this is good if you want something that is higher compared to those lower folding stools. I have my phones. These are really old phones. So for the phones, I can draw them small because they are just rectangular blocks. I need to write the name of the phones. And as you write all the names of the things that you bring, when you refer to them in years to come, they will really bring back memories. Okay, I have a guidebook that I probably borrowed from the library. This one is called Bali and Lombok. Lombok is the smaller island beside Bali. I have this pack of po chai pills just in case I have a stomach upset. I always bring this. This is my, what's this? Okay, I just realized something. I just realized that now I have a lot more space here. So this is my driving license. So I probably should have left the watercolor box to draw at the last stage. Yeah. So you should be drawing like smaller items first, and then you realize that you have a lot of space left, then you can draw things that require more details. This is a palette with Daniel Smith colors. Daniel Smith paints, and this is the Valbon Maxi mini tripod. Oops, spelled that wrong again. And what else do I have? This is a pad of watercolor paper. aqua fine. Try to bring the best watercolor paper you can buy. Don't bring lousy quality watercolor paper because they are not going to work with watercolor. And when you are painting overseas on location, you want to work with the best tools. You want to work with familiar tools that you're comfortable with. So try to bring tools that you have used before. Do not try new paper when you are overseas because you don't know how the paper will perform. And if you bring the wrong paper and it doesn't work for you, then you will have to find an art shop that sells paper, and that may not be easy. It may not be easy to find an art shop that sells paper. Mostly watercolor sketchbook. So if I do have a lot of space left without anything else to draw, I may just write down the names of all the paint, the colors that I brought. Okay, yeah, so it's good to write down the names of all the paint that you brought as well, because every detail that you write is information that you can use in the future. This is wax tool. Okay, I believe I have drawn everything. I seem to remember bringing a hat, so I will want to draw a hat. So drawing something like this is not going to take up too much time, and this also serves as a good warm-up for sketching. And if you have the fear of not knowing what to draw on your first page in your sketchbook, well, you can draw your packing list. So as I paint these sketches, I will want to talk about the colors, like the pigments to bring. So my favorite yellow nowadays is the Hansa yellow. Hansa yellow is a mid yellow. That's great for mixing. Oh, there is another yellow which is really beautiful. It's Azo yellow. Okay, so I have yellow for the brush, yellow for the paint. Let me see what else I have. Yellow for the phone home screen. Let's have orange. For orange, it's New Gambosh. I like that color. I can use this to paint the shadow area for this brush here. Yeah, I don't have to be too precise when painting. Oh, did I draw my water bottle? I forgot to draw my water bottle, so let me just draw one small one here. Okay, this box here is also orange and has some red. And for red, nowadays I like anthraquinoid scarlet. Oops. By the way, if you make any mistakes, well, just leave it, because if you go correct your mistakes, sometimes it may make the mistake worse. Okay, so anthraquinoid scarlet is nice. It's a beautiful red. It's a warm red. I have burnt sienna as well, and that will be my bag here, the messenger bag. For blue, I have ultramarine. I have phthalo blue as well. Actually, I cannot remember all the colors that I brought with me back then because it's like 10 years ago. There is probably sap green. I used to love sap green, but nowadays I don't use sap green because you can mix sap green very easily with Hansa yellow and ultramarine. So by not including sap green, you can actually include another primary color. So for the rest of the items, they are mostly different shades of gray. So for that, I'll use ultramarine with burnt sienna. So let's just paint this pen first, the Uniball Gel Impact. I love this pen. It's just too expensive because the ink gets used up too fast, so you have to replace the pen very often, and it's just too expensive. You can buy like a fountain pen that also produces a thick line, just like this, and the fountain pen will be like more affordable. This is the Pilot VTAC that I no longer use. Uniball Signal Gel Stick. This is I still love this pen, this disposable pen. We have a Connoisseur watercolor brush. I still have this brush though. If you take care of your brush, they can last for many years. This is the, what's this? Da Vinci brush, brush pen. Yeah, so most of these pens, they are just black. If you want to bring a fountain pen, I would highly recommend you bring a fountain pen with that can hold a lot of ink. So don't bring a fountain pen like this, because some ink cartridges or ink converters can be quite small, and this one doesn't hold a lot of ink, so this is just enough for one day of sketching. And when you're sketching, you do not want to run out of ink unless you have a backup pen. So coloring all this is actually quite easy since they are just gray or black. So for that, I will use ultramarine and burnt sienna. You can use permanent brown as well. Permanent brown PB25 can give you a really dark color that can be great for painting like black. Okay, we have our eraser here. Let's make our sketches more sketchy. This is really great warm-up if you are unsure of what to draw on your first page. Okay, maybe I can add some red here for the shadow. Yeah, okay. I want to talk about this watercolor sketchbook as well. The paper quality is actually pretty good. I can handle watercolor quite well. I love it. Mostly, I think the quality here is good, mostly because, well, the paper is good and also it's new, unlike other watercolor sketchbook that I have kept for too long. So don't keep your watercolor paper too long, because the paper will deteriorate, the paper sizing will deteriorate. Okay, so one page done really quickly. And here on the right side, I will paint this as well. Oops, too much ultramarine. So let's add some water and spread this around. Okay, I need to like add a lot more water just to spread this around so that I can still see the line art through the watercolor. I can add some shadow here at the bottom so that this tripod does not look like it's floating in space. Okay, we have the box tool. Let's add some shadow at the bottom as well. We have this watercolor box here, the handphone, this watercolor pad. Yeah, so as mentioned earlier, bring supplies that you are familiar with. Don't bring things that you have not used before, because you should test your supplies before you go on the trip, not use the trip to test your supplies. You don't want nasty surprises while you are sketching. So let's have this. Let's add a few more colors here. Let's have a blue here as well. Maybe add some orange here as well. Okay, so this sketch is almost done. Maybe I can make some of these parts, some parts here darker. Okay, so 250 GSM paper seems to be pretty good. It's quite thick, so you can handle water quite well. When you work with quality materials, you will also feel more confident because you know the materials are of good quality and will be able to handle what you throw at them. So here's a close-up on the sketch. Don't worry about cancelling the words because, well, people make mistakes sometimes. This water bottle, as you can see, has a lot of white because the paint has actually fallen off the bottle. Another mistake here. Just keep the mistakes in your sketchbook because they will actually give your sketch personality. Alright, I like this a lot. So in the next video, I will talk about driving overseas and also the Jeep that I rented for the trip.